Trump travel restrictions on China slow down the coronavirus. South Korea and Italy could be next. Hello, this is Robert Romano, Vice President of Public Policy with Americans for Limited Government, dailytorch.com. Hit that subscribe button. Today, we're going to be talking about the U.S. response to the Chinese coronavirus. This includes travel restrictions that have been in place for about a month now. On January 31, President Trump, when the World Health Organization announced a global health emergency from the Wuhan coronavirus, he instituted a proclamation on suspension of entry of immigrants and non-immigrants, of persons who pose a risk of transmitting 2019 novel coronavirus. And I think that this is going to definitely be the reason why we've managed to keep the outbreak under control in the United States, at least for now. But other countries are having outbreaks. South Korea and Italy have the most cases, 1,700 confirmed cases in South Korea. 186 in Japan, 400 in Italy, and 141 in Iran. And as far as China goes, that's 78,000 with 2,700 dead. For the rest of the world, 57 dead with 3,600 confirmed cases. So I think that with such a high mortality rate, I think that people are going to want to take this very seriously. The government's taking it very seriously. That's why the president is instituting these travel restrictions. And he's hinting that may expand to include South Korea and Italy. In his press conference on February 26, when he's appearing with CDC, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and the Vice President, who's going to be coordinating the U.S. response. He said on South Korea and Italy, quote, "If others aren't taken care or we think they're doing it incorrectly at a right time, we may do that." And that's more travel restrictions. I think, but you have about a 2% mortality rate on this. That's why they're going to take it very seriously. It seems to be about 1.5% mortality with this virus outside of China, 3.4% inside of China. And so containment's critical. That's actually quite high. It's much higher than the seasonal flu. And so potentially more people could die. Not to be alarmist, but if everyone got sick, 7.7 billion people in the world, you'd probably see about 150 million die, 3 million dead here in America alone. I think that's deadly serious. And so this is not a political issue. Some members of Congress, I think, would like to politicize this, but really we need all the help we can get. And, the virus is not being partisan. It doesn't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, if you vote, or you don't even pay attention to politics. So I think the travel restrictions, whatever the CDC's got going, whatever, controls might be put into place on travel. And, in Japan, they're closing down schools. So this could, there's the potential, I think, for a bigger event here. So far, though, 2,700 have died in China, 78,000 cases, 12 dead in Italy, as well as 13 dead in Korea. In the U.S. so far, though, there's only been 60 confirmed cases, thankfully, with no deaths. And that's why the president, to keep it that way, might consider expanding these travel restrictions. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, he credited the travel restrictions at his press conference for slowing the virus into the U.S. Quote, "The president's early and decisive actions, including travel restrictions, have succeeded in buying us incredibly valuable time. This has helped us contain the spread of the virus, handle the cases that we have, and prepare for the possibility that we will need to mitigate broader spread of infections within the United States. The president's actions, taken with the strong support of his scientific advisors, have proven to be appropriate, wise, and well calibrated to the situation." And of course, you want travel restrictions. Like when you get sick, you shelter in your home so that you're not spreading germs. If you limit patients from getting on planes and, spreading the illness all over the world, you can probably save potentially millions of lives. So, and the real problem with the coronavirus is it's spread much like the common cold or influenza. So it spreads pretty easily. According to Deputy Director of Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Ann Shushat, she warned to avoid persons who are coughing and sneezing. Quote, "The coronavirus that we're talking about is a respiratory virus. It's a spread in a similar way to the common cold or to influenza. It's spread through coughs and sneezes." Now, right now, the risk, I think CDC is saying in the U.S. is low, but that could change. And if you start hearing about more cases in the United States, you probably want to avoid people who are coughing and sneezing. Now, South Korea may merit additional consideration for travel restrictions. According to Foreign Policy's S. Nathan Park, he reports on a weird cult in South Korea that Shinsei Onji, it quote, teaches illness is a sin, encouraging its followers to suffer through diseases, to attend services in which they sit closely together, breathing in spittle, as they repeatedly amen in unison. Although patient number 31 ran a high fever, she attended two Shinsei Onji services, which held more than 1,000 worshippers each. In addition to attending a wedding and a conference for a pyramid scheme, she visited a clinic after being involved in a minor traffic incident, but ignored the repeated recommendations by the doctors to receive testing for the virus. In other cases, a self-identified Shinji Onji follower who came to a hospital complaining of high fever ran off during examination when the doctors informed her she may be quarantined. Yikes. Since the discovery of patient number 31, the number of cases has skyrocketed in just a week, really. Nearly all of the new cases are Shinji Onji followers or traceable to them. So if I'm President Trump, I'm thinking about restrictions on South Korean air travel because they don't seem to have the situation under control there. Now, the Italian situation could also be a problem. Mexico has confirmed 2 cases of coronavirus. This is from ABC News, and they traveled from northern Italy, which is basically, it tells you that if you can restrict the air travel, that how did they get to Mexico? They flew there. And now the disease is in Mexico as well. So if you want to stop the global spread of the disease, you have to, I think, do what President Trump did and issue these proclamations and suspend entry of immigrants and non-immigrants from places that are hot spots for the coronavirus. President Trump's doing the right thing, and I think you're going to probably see more travel restrictions in the coming days. Markets are getting roiled. You might see some freezing of stock trades and things like that. The S&P 500's at about 2937. And it's been down about 12% in this correction, and I think it's going to probably, if they don't freeze trading, it may go down further. The thing to watch in the coming days and weeks, of course, will be how many new confirmed cases there are in the afflicted countries. So I'll leave you with the close here. That will tell the tale if the virus is being contained or if it's still spreading and getting worse. Fortunately, President Trump doesn't sound like he wants to take any chances, meaning if the virus keeps spreading in South Korea, Italy, and elsewhere, watch for more travel restrictions until the outbreak is fully under control. That's the commentary. This is Robert Romano, Vice President of Public Policy with Americans for Limited Government, dailytorch.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and have a good day.